Hey, Rainbow here. How are you? Well, 6,300 and some miles on this thing in about, I don't know, three and a half months or so. And I have some thoughts about it. And anyway, Indian Scout Bobber, it's 2020 version. Take a good look at it. Could use a little bit more of a cleaning up. Okay. What I did add, have a video about this. I did add this little side pack, which is convenient. This thing, hey, it's called a bobber. It's for kind of bobbing around town, to be quite honest with you. It's really not a long distance trip. I have spent a good solid 8 hours in one day driving it, but there were a lot of stops along the way. Had some pretty decent trips, but nothing really long distance, and very little highway miles. I got to be honest with you, this thing, as far as the highway is concerned, the wind is just too much. As soon as you get up and on 95 here in South Florida, you know, sometimes to go with the flow of traffic, you're at 75, 80 miles an hour, and you're just getting the crap beat out of you by the wind. Yeah, you know, that comes with the territory, but you know what? There are a lot of other bikes that are a little better designed for travel. Anyway, this thing came with Pirellis. I have another video about this. These Pirellis here are actually, these are adventure tires, and the only thing I could think of why they would want to put adventure tires on this bike, honestly, it would probably just be for looks. It's really more just an aesthetic than anything else. I can't really see it being anything beyond that. Now, with, let's see how many we have here. We'll give you an exact number. All right. 6,346 miles on the bike, okay? Now, with that being said, this is where I'm at, okay? So I'm getting new tires this week. I put them on order. I am going with the Michelin Commander 3s, same size. I'm gonna change the front and back. My first thought was, well, just get another one of these Pirellis, and then, hey, well, you know, I'll just wait for this thing to wear out again, then I can change the front and the back at the same time. That would probably be the most economical. But honestly, when you know you're going to be wasting a tire, I can either waste this one or I can waste the front. Honestly, what's the difference? I'd rather have what I want. Now, these are good tires. Don't get me wrong. As you can see, because of the lean angle here, I'm never going to wear any of this off. All right, I'm in South Florida. There's not a ton of twisties. There really almost are void of any twisties around here. But that's where we're at. Now, the reason why the sides of these tires still have those little nubbies on them is because of this right here, okay? I'm constantly scraping pegs because of the lean angle, okay? Not much you can do about that. Pretty significant reduction in tire wear, not reduction, added tire wear in the center because I don't have twisties and the bike would limit me anyway, okay? Not much I can do about that. And I like to use these right here as indicators. Let me know, hey, don't go much further than that. And that's why they're worn off on both sides. Anyway, it's been a great bike. Let's talk about it a little bit more, but let's get a little bit of a better scenery. All right, so one of the reasons I got this bike is because of the power. And one of the reasons I like it is because of the power. And as much as it has a pretty not too good lean angle, right? It is rather sporty, and you can really get around with it when people don't try to be as sporty as you are. Anyway, I guess I'm kind of stuck here. So it's got definitely enough power. Is it a bike you're going to put someone on the back? Yeah, I put my daughter on the back. She's older though, and really enjoys it, but it's not the most comfortable bike for a passenger either, okay? And this is a bike really that's designed for one person. And it's a great bike, and I am getting a new bike. Now, I'm not getting rid of this one because I just love it too much. It's just really a fun bike. I guess the best way to describe this bike it's fun. It really is just fun. With the short wheelbase and a good engine, and it's relatively lightweight. I know it's under 600 pounds. I don't even remember exactly how much this thing weighs. I thought it was like 583, something like that wet. Not even sure. Hey, puppy. It's got a little how to get up and go. I get a lot of compliments. A lot of times I'll come to a stoplight, and next thing I know, I got a motorcycle alongside me who's a custom build with custom paint. He's going, hey, nice bike. And it feels good. Anyway, hey, a little bit of a view for you. You've probably seen that before. It's about 67, 68 degrees. It's January something or another here. It's a Sunday. It's the second Sunday, or I don't even know what it is. Anyway, the bottom line is, this is a really fun bike and very nimble. And when you have a nice nimble bike with a lot of power, you know, it's just a lot of fun. Okay, like look, it's just a lot of fun. Yep. Hey buddy, how are you? So who is this bike designed for? The thing is designed for just about anyone who wants to have fun and just wants to cruise around town. If you're gonna do twisties, don't plan on getting a ton of lean angle. I know I keep bringing up that lean angle. Maybe there's some things that you could change about it. Now, I did make some adjustments with this bike. I adjusted my tire pressure, which is in another video, to make a better ride. I adjusted my rear shocks instead of buying new ones, which worked for me. I just didn't see any, you know, reason to buy something unless I tried adjusting what I had. So I adjusted what I had and adjusted the shocks in the back, along with the tire pressure, and I adjusted the handlebars, I adjusted the controls a little bit, you know. But the bottom line is, I'm still kind of folded in half here. These are forward controls, not very forward, but they are forward controls, and you are leaning forward on a bike a little bit. When I'm on the highway, I end up down like this. When I get up faster than maybe you're supposed to go on the highway. It has a decent amount of low-end torque. There are it's a 6-speed transmission, 1 down and 5 up, which is enjoyable. As you can see, I'm in second. Now, the one thing about this bike is this thing doesn't really wake up with the power until you're in the 4,500, 5,000 RPM range. Everything below that feels good, but you really have to get this thing up into the 4,000 to 6,000 RPM range in order to really feel something. And that's when the power really kicks in. The thing is to get there, it's relatively impractical with driving like I'm doing here. Okay, going down A1A here in South Florida. I'm going through Boca Raton right now, and there's no way in hell I'm going to get up to that speed unless I just stay in the wrong gear, too low, just for the sole purpose. It just doesn't make any sense because I'm kind of tapping out here, you know, in the gear. If you want, I could tell you that you can burn rubber in basically almost every gear, at least 1 through 3. You can absolutely burn rubber. If you like to burn out your tires and spend money on new tires, that would be great. But it's just enjoyable. Now, on average, I get about 40 miles to the gallon. When I'm really behaving and I take a longer trip, or I go where there's very few stoplights, stop signs, and I'm not driving like a maniac, I will get upwards of hey guys, I did get up to 49, and I got as low as 36. Now the 36, that's kind of self-explanatory, to be quite honest with you. The 36 miles to the gallon was pretty much me beating the pants off of this thing. But it's a rugged bike and I really enjoy it. Alright, I'll give you a little bit of a view today. I don't know if there's anything worth saying hello to. This guy decided to walk when he wasn't supposed to. Everybody else seems to be holding back here. All right. This is what happens. Anyway, so there's a 3.3 gallon tank. The most I ever put in this was 3 gallons. A little, just slightly over 3 gallons. I never put anything more than that in there. On average, I put about 2.8 gallons, and on average, I get about 40 miles to the gallon. So it looks like pretty much about every 100 to 120 miles you're going to be stopping. If you drive like an idiot, definitely every 100 miles you're going to be stopping. Trust me, I know. Anyway, I'll wait for a light here and I'll show you another little section in South Florida. Seems like everyone is out today enjoying themselves. This particular left turn sucks, but once you get up there, it's actually a nice view of the ocean. We may not see it because I don't think I'm going to pull in. I may. Anyway, might have to fast forward through this while I'm waiting. Great. All right, so now I got to make my left and take a look, get in this little tight spot. There we go. And away you go. So this is in Boca Raton. It's a nice little area to stop at. And I'll give you the view here instead of talking about bikes the whole time. Weekends are nice. When it's a little bit hotter, things are a little bit busier. But nice little pavilion for people to hang out. You can only park for about 1 hour tops is the maximum amount of time that you can park in this particular parking lot. But there's a all day long parking lot that you can park at on the north end that way. But for purposes of just coming in and checking things out, and this is limited to 1 hour of parking. That's it. Anyway, let's continue our talk about this bike. So one of the things that I neglected to talk about was as far as oil consumption for this bike is concerned, in about 5,000 miles, I've had to add a half of a quart of oil. That's it. So that's not too bad. A half of a quart in 5,000 miles, I think, is pretty reasonable. And a lot of my miles, especially in the beginning, zipping around town, was in the summer. And not just in the summer, but in the summer when it's super hot down here in South Florida. A lot of just idling. All right, next thing is scraping the pegs. You hear that? Let me do it again. Scraping the pegs. You see how easy it is? So, yeah, from what I understand, you're supposed to burn with a Harley, I'm told, somewhere in the neighborhood of a quarter of a quart, a fourth of a quart every 1,000 miles. And this is significantly less than that. I mean, a half of a quart in 5,000. That's hardly anything. I really do like the engine a lot. I think it's 1133 cc's. They call it a 1200, you know, and rock solid. Well, although I have this bike and I love it, I did pre-order a Ducati Multistrada V4, and I ordered it, I don't know, almost a month ago, and should be taking possession of it probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. According to the dealer, they finally got notification of when they were gonna start shipping. So I don't have an actual date yet, which would be great. And you're probably going, well, why would you buy a Multistrada? Well, because I plan on touring. I plan on actually going on some long trips, thinking about doing a cross country, a back and forth. And this just isn't going to cut it. Now, am I going to get rid of this? No, of course not. This is a great bike. I am very fortunate that now, with no kids in the house and no wife, I can afford it. And that's kind of a good thing. You know, I spent 30 some years financing 2 wives and a bunch of children, and now it's time to put a little money away for me. And that's why I'm doing it. Now, the Multistrada V4, why that one? Well, Ducati wasn't even on my list, to be quite honest with you. I was actually looking at getting a Tracer 900 GT when the 2021s came out, which has now been changed to the Tracer 9 or something like that. Looks great, improvements, and I really like the 2020 version, but I wanted to get something new that I'll just have forever, kind of like this thing right here. The other thing I was thinking about, because I was balancing a whole bunch of them, was I was looking at BMW R1250 RT, but I went to the dealership. I'm waiting for the 2021s to come out. I did sit on one. I didn't test drive it, but I just thought it was kind of too big and bulky, to be quite honest with you. And I really like the Sport Touring. Now, I know that they have a different version of that, but Ducati seems to really check all the boxes. And one of the reasons why I never really looked at Ducati is because I just really picture them as a sport bike manufacturer, where, you know, you have to get your valve lash, you know, major service done, you know, every 7,500 miles or whatever they're at. And lo and behold, man, my thinking is very dated. So it's actually 60,000 kilometers or 36,000 miles before the first major service with this Ducati Multistrada V4. It just amazed me that, you know, they kind of changed the way that they're doing their valves, and that was the major factor. The other major factor was that it has forward radar and reverse radar, and that means that you actually have a dynamic cruise control. So now with your cruise control, if I set on the highway, I set myself to, let's say, 72 miles an hour, it'll stay at 72. If the person in front of me slows down to 68, the bike slows down to 68. If they speed back up to 80, well, then I go back to the 72 and it stays there. And the rear, I know there's been more than once where I've had a car or truck zip by me, just come flying by me, and I had no idea that they were coming. You know, you look in your rear mirror, you kind of don't see them. You're not constantly looking in your rear view mirror, and when you have someone coming up on you really fast, often I'll be honest with you, it kind of scares you. It's like it jolts you a little bit. Well, in this particular case, they have a rear-facing radar that picks up on that, and it kind of warns you in the side view mirrors, which are, from what I gather, significantly better than these round ones I have from Indian. These are stock. But that's why I'm getting it. I want to go touring. I want to be able to get on the highway and be comfortable. I'm not into Harleys at all. Never was. I used to have an Indian when I was younger, had a nice Enduro. I think BMW makes a great product. I love the fact that they're actually a shaft drive. I don't particularly care for that boxer engine because I don't like how bulky it is on the sides. But other than that, you know, it's a really well-built machine, and I think it's one of the more ultimates, you know, out there for touring, other than if you want to get into the, you know, Honda Goldwing. I know you're going to come out, so just go. Just, you know, you want to get out, just come on out. I'm making a left anyway. I'm going to go by the beach, give everybody a nice little view here. If there's anything good to look at, I don't know. It's hit and miss some days. Come on, get off. Yeah, so this thing actually, once you make your turn, the blinker goes out, but it doesn't always work, and I guess it has to do with when you put it on and what kind of how much you turn your how much you turn, and maybe even your lean angle. I don't even know. I have yet to figure out what makes it trigger where the blinkers turn off, but I'll give that a little go up here, and we shall see. There's a nice bike. Alright, let's get down here and go back this way. Well, anyway, rather than bore you, I'm going to depart the area here. I think I'm going to head out to the highway and give that a go. It's always nice to run the bike on a highway. Anyway, Rainbow out. Enough rambling by me. Have yourself a great day. All right, ciao.